Summary of The Introvert Advantage. How to Thrive in an Extrovert World. By Marti Olsen Laney. A World for Extroverts. In modern society, the cards are stacked against introverts. This is not surprising since 75% of people are extroverts, not introverts. Their attitude, it's my world. You just live in it. Extroverts are outgoing, aggressive, take-charge types. They focus on the external. Introverts are quiet, contemplative, retiring types. They focus on the internal. But today's world is not a museum trip. It's a rock concert. This world engages extroverts, but it drains introverts. So when extroverts say it is their world, they are right. From childhood, introverts feel out of place. They think something is wrong with them. They feel pressure to shape up, to get with the program, to act like everyone else. The message to introverts is clear: you are screwed up. Change. Unfortunately, this is like asking a bear to fly or a bird to grow fur. It will never happen. Psychoanalytic pioneer Sigmund Freud is partially responsible for the popular animus toward introverts. Freud was an extrovert. He theorized that people achieve psychological fulfillment only through full engagement with the external world. Alfred Adler, a colleague of Freud in the field of theoretical psychoanalysis, was an introvert. His theorizing focused on thoughts and feelings, the interior world. After Freud and Adler had a bitter falling out, Freud began to characterize introversion in a discouraging, negative, even pathological manner. Because of Freud's great influence, the rest of the field eventually came to see introversion as something unhealthy. Another of Freud's colleagues, Carl Jung, theorized that people are psychologically disposed to exist somewhere on a continuum between very introverted and very extroverted. He believed that people who displayed introversion or extroversion in moderation, not in the extreme, were perfectly healthy. His belief is a widely accepted scientific viewpoint today. Introvert or extrovert? Are you an introvert, innie, or an extrovert, outie? Measure yourself against these common traits of introversion and extroversion. Extroversion: you enjoy being right in the middle of the action. You prefer a wide variety of activities. You become easily bored doing the same thing repeatedly. You maintain numerous social contracts and have a large number of friends. You like idle chit-chat. Activities energize you. You can act quickly. You possess a great deal of pep. You prefer to speak rather than listen. Introversion: you enjoy solitude. Your friendships are close relationships. You require rest after external activities. You listen easily to others, but enjoy speaking at length only about subjects that interest you. You dislike social chit-chat. You come across as self-contained. You hate to be rushed. You seldom speak before thinking first about what to say, if, indeed, you say anything at all. You may prefer to remain silent while others speak. Sometimes you fumble to find the right words when you feel pressure in a group setting. It's okay to be an introvert. Being an introvert is not bad. It is not odd or pathological. It is temperamental. Just as some people are big and others are small, some tend toward introversion while others tend toward extroversion. Indeed, the famous Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, a questionnaire to assess personality, places everyone somewhere on an introversion, extroversion, i.e., continuum. If you are an introvert, accept this fact. You cannot change who or what you are. Being an introvert is okay. Extroverts love external reality. Crowds and action energize them. Introverts are the opposite. They often prefer to be alone. They would rather engage in interior dialogue with themselves than chit-chat at a party. Excess social interaction quickly depletes their energy. In contrast, stimulating external environment fills extroverts with energy but drains introverts. Therefore, introverts prefer to limit social interaction. Other clear differences exist. Extroverts adopt a big-picture approach to life. They want to experience everything. Introverts adopt a narrower focus. They prefer to concentrate on one thing at a time. Introverts do not lack boldness or courage. They are not loners. They are not antisocial or self-centered, though they are self-reflective. They are not wallflowers. People often mistake introverts' reserve for shyness, but that's not accurate. Indeed, some famous introverts are constantly in the public eye, including zany comedian and author Steve Martin, famous actor Clint Eastwood, billionaire entrepreneur Bill Gates, and former basketball superstar Michael Jordan. During her era, no actress was more highly regarded than the gorgeous and introverted Grace Kelly. Many historians regard introvert Abraham Lincoln as one of America's greatest presidents. Think what the world would be today without introverts Thomas Edison and Albert Einstein. Despite what Freud taught, introversion is not unhealthy. It represents the useful ability to focus on the inner world of thoughts and feelings. This is why introverts have contributed so greatly to the world through their brilliant ideas, inventions, and creative works. Introversion, it's all in your head. Genes and brain chemistry affect your temperament, including your place on the introversion-extroversion continuum. Scientists have identified some 60 neurotransmitters in the brain. They are made up of chemicals that transmit messages throughout the brain. As primary neurotransmitters, including dopamine and acetylcholine, travel throughout the brain, they regulate where blood flows. Research indicates that blood flow to the brain is stronger in introverts than in extroverts. Further, the blood moves along different brain pathways. For introverts, increased blood flow exists in the sections of the brain that handle memorizing, problem-solving and planning. Extroverts have increased blood flow to areas of the brain that process sights, sounds, sensations and tastes. Thus, introverts' brains focus internally, thoughts and ideas, while extroverts' brains focus externally, the stimuli around them. Extroverts are less sensitive to dopamine. Thus, they require more of it than introverts do. Scientists associate dopamine with movement, attention, alertness, and learning. Introverts rely less on dopamine than acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that promotes calm and affects attention and learning. For introverts and extroverts, different neurotransmitters engage with the nervous system that links the mind and body. Extroverts link with the dopamine and adrenaline-driven sympathetic, full-throttle, nervous system, which spends energy. Introverts link with the acetylcholine-driven, parasympathetic, throttle-down, nervous system, which conserves energy. The full-throttle system involves the classic fight-or-flight response to physical threats. Heart rate increases and blood flow to the muscles intensifies. Logically, this system ideally suits extroverts. In contrast, the throttle-down system lowers heart rate and blood pressure, promoting slow and careful avoidance of peril. This internally focused system ideally suits introverts. Extroverts versus introverts. Extroverts often feel uncomfortable with introverts, who sometimes seem very alien. Extroverts are quick to speak their minds, and get nervous when introverts choose their words carefully, and speak slowly and thoughtfully. Because introverts are cautious and even hesitant to speak out, extroverts may think they have nothing to contribute. In their slow and measured way, introverts drive some extroverts crazy. Of course, all this can have a negative effect on introverts. They may face rejection, which can lead to feelings of shame or even guilt. Many introverts assume that they have some basic defect. These feelings often exist in direct proportion to a person's degree of introversion. If this happens to you, understand that you have no defect. Nothing is wrong with you. At the same time, as an introvert, be mindful of maintaining your personal comfort zone. When you feel drained by the people around you, go somewhere quiet and re-energize by spending some time alone. Relationships. Just like extroverts, most introverts want to have relationships. But for an introvert, finding someone special can be a colossal energy drain. Introverts face special challenges in forming relationships with extroverts. Be mindful of the relationship dynamics that may exist between you and your potential new partner. The combination of an inny male with an outy female runs counter to standard social conditioning. An introverted male may feel overpowered by his extroverted female partner. An extroverted husband who spends the workday in full extrovert mode may devote little energy to his relationship with an introverted wife. These trait-based conflicts obviously lead to problems. If both partners are introverted, they tend to heed each other's need for privacy. They rarely argue. However, they may become too emotionally dependent on each other and develop an unhealthy insularity. No matter what personality types are involved, lasting relationships involve periodic conflict resolution. Try to see each conflict from the other person's perspective, and try to identify and account for any innie-outie or innie-innie dynamics that may come into play. Introversion and children. Is your child an innie or an outie, or something in between? Childhood involves a lot of socialization and playtime with other kids, so provide sufficient solitude for your innie child. Make sure he or she can get away for a little while to re-energize. Your innie child also needs the precious opportunity to just sit and think. Because innie children are quite sensitive to disapproval and anger, avoid correcting them in front of others. Whatever you do, never make your innie child feel bad about his or her introverted nature. Teach him or her that this temperament is perfectly normal. Make your child feel loved at all times. If you are introverted, and your child is an outie, you will have your hands full. Your outie child will need someone who is always available to talk to, someone who will provide feedback. Your extroverted child will burst with energy and push to stay constantly busy. Of course, if you are introverted, all of this runs directly counter to your style and needs. Nevertheless, innie parents must ensure that energizing people and activities surround outie children. Nurture your nature. As an introvert, if you want to move ahead in life, you must always be prepared to get outside your comfort zone and do some extroverting. But when you are done, you need a quiet, serene place to recharge your batteries. Introverts normally have less physical energy than extroverts, so they should avoid pushing themselves, and should take the time to rest and regroup. If you are introverted, and feel anxious, impatient, unfocused, tired or trapped, you may need more downtime. When life starts to blur, go slow. Take a few moments daily to restore your equilibrium. Just sitting and staring may help. Turn your mind off. Close your eyes. Enjoy a nap. Take a short walk, briefly change your routine. Practice breathing deeply from your abdomen. Find some special spot in your home that provides sanctuary. Go there as needed. Whenever possible, avoid artificial light. Natural light is more soothing. Using aromatherapy and playing music also can promote and sustain a peaceful mood. As an introvert, you have much to offer. If you are introvert, you possess many special talents, capabilities, and advantages. Being an introvert goes far beyond just being okay. You have extra assets, you can concentrate easily. You are an excellent observer of people, places, and things. You are thoughtful and contemplative. You are an original thinker. You are not afraid to take unpopular stands. Like a seasoned quarterback, you often see things unfold around you in a way that resembles slow motion. Compared with extroverts who race through their active lives, introverts often are in a better position to make sense of things and keep the world in perspective. So, if you are introverted, be comfortable with who you are. Stand up straight. Pull back your shoulders. Put a smile on your face. Say proudly to the world, I am what I am. It's time to take a bow, even if that is an extroverted kind of thing to do.